All right, all right, all right. Just an old-fashioned jank stream. Oh man, I could tell you why I do it this way, but I can't. I can't. Let's just say there's a certain thing that there's a reason why we do the jank stream this way. There is. Just there's there's reasons why we do the jank stream this way. That's all I'm gonna say. I know the jank stream is not what certain people do. We've got high production and all the highfalutin. No, not the jank stream, baby. Not the jank stream. So, if people ever wonder in the background, I will tell you in the background. But there is a certain reason why the jank stream is becoming the thing and why it's here. So, just an old-fashioned jank stream. All right, so yeah, let's talk. We've had a nice Saturday here. Hopefully, you have had a wonderful Saturday as well. It is 2024. Yep. Trump won the old South Carolina thing. So why Nikki Haley is not immediately dropped out, I don't know. But at this point, it's ridiculous. You can't even win your home state. I mean, come on, man. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, hit the like button, do all that kind of stuff. I at this point, Trump is going to be the nominee, and he'll probably go up against Biden, whoever they replace him with in the convention, because that's where they have to do it. So that's when it'll happen. Oh, you have to got to replace Joe now. So you'll see that happen. But one thing you have to know about the jank stream, folks, is if the jank stream starts to hit serious buffering, okay, that means that the old tools and fools in the back have they don't like what the concept and content what we're saying here. So what they do is they go and they start hitting the antennas and stuff. So just know that means it's like, ooh, so at that point, that little like button love thing that they got down there, that 100, start clicking that thing crazy. All right, we'll probably get there at some point. Got a lot to talk about. Uh, Sadly, some people can't see the writing on the wall. No, they can't. They can't. So there you go. There are those floating hearts. Um, let's stick on with Trump here, and let's talk about that's fairly mundane, right? Uh, so he's got Tulsi Gabbard supposedly coming in as a potential VP pick. Now, to be honest with you, she's not a bad choice. Okay. Now I know everybody's gonna be like, there's a awesome person in the background that I talked to through Telegram, right? And she kind of alerted me to it, and she said, well, WEF, and Tulsi renounced it. She said, I don't know how I got on there. There's a bunch of people that have said that. Like, I don't know how I got this, moniker of WEF and all that, but it's nothing I knew about, and it's nothing I'm a part of, right? And she kind of said something to the same thing. Elon Musk has said this. Vivek Ramaswamy has said it. So this is not, it's. I mean, either everybody's in Klaus's pocket, which is totally possible. Yes, I'll give you a Klaus. Hold on, Klaus. Um, or they just go around and like some businesses do. Like, oh, I like this person. Throw them on the list. And they're not really affiliated. They're just kind of there. I don't know. Tulsi is interesting because she is a Democrat originally, by party. She's from Hawaii, so she's not going to bring like the Midwestern vote in, but she's a service person. She's kind on the eyes and all that. So she's oh, Borg didn't like that. So don't go Christy Nome, folks. Tulsi Gabbard, yeah, she'd be a tough one to turn down. I said it before here. I said, Vivek Ramaswamy, should he not be Mr. WEF, snake in the grass, I would turn him into the Secretary of State. Okay? So, I don't trust any of these people as far as I can bowl them. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really trusting anyone. I don't think Trump is going to be able to bring us back. I think it's just basically at this point, how fast of an acceleration are we going to do? Okay, and it is what it is. I got nothing against Trump. I got nothing against anybody. I wish that someone, it could literally be, you'd be like Bobby Kennedy, whoever, were to come in and be like, I've got this, we're going to do it, and we've got Congress involved. The problem is that there's too many rich a-holes in the background that understand like lawfare and all of the other things that they can do to screw with the system and use the system to our, lack of a benefit. They know how to do that, so they're going to do it. They're going to start with their media, and the media go out there and, oh my God, did you see what Trump did tonight? So it is what it is. It's I wish that someone would come in and be good at doing something like that, but it's just probably not going to happen. So, but Tulsi would be an interesting one. Okay. So let me tell you why. Let's go through it. Get here. I'm in the command post. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 screens around me right now. I'm in my wife's office with her friggin' healthcare command post. So Tulsi is going in. All of a sudden, people are abuzz over a small nonprofit fundraiser at former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago, because it features possible Trump VP Tulsi Gabbard. Okay? I do like the gray lock of hair. I'm going to admit it. She's cute. I think she's cute. I know. Sorry. I'm a man. I have feelings. So long before the revelation, it says, some people have suggested that by appearing at Mar-a-Lago, Miss Gabbard has become more directly aligned with the whole President Trump, MAGA movement, right? I mean, she's definitely kind of swung towards the right, and that's, I hate that term. I hate the term left and right. I hate it. The fact of the matter is that you've got people that are caring and loving of this country, and you got people that just aren't, right? So she said that she's met with the 45th president, spoken with him at length, and she had witnessed heartfelt interactions with her military friends. People don't know she was military. I think she's a captain or something like that. She's, pretty good resume on her. Not gonna lie. So Mr. Bryant said she has no idea. He got the idea to ask Miss Gabbard to the 917 Society celebrating the Constitution event because it's a military veteran and has been an outspoken defender of the Constitution. So 9/17, for those that don't know, is Constitution Day. So these are people that care about the Constitution. I, as a person that literally, for a good portion of my adulthood, has had a Constitution in my room, presence, pocket, bag, whatever, for, gosh, almost 15 years. I get it. I agree with it. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. The group's message has been suppressed. Let's check that out. Oh, by the way, the AI from the Borg here is trying to say that communism has been misrepresented and we should just give it another chance. Dear Borg, you should have seen me in my classroom giving a tour de force anti. She's grateful for saying the group's events and lucky timing of Mar-a-Lago's revelation. She said her social media post got little reaction, or got little traction online, but the word Constitution has someone become controversial. Ms. Bryan sees evidence that the group's posts are censored and shadow banned. Yeah, the old Constitution, which made us, what, the richest country in the world and basically gives political freedom to everybody regardless. Yeah, but he didn't do that for the slaves. Yeah, that was what, fucking 160 years ago? So the way they wrote it was, you basically anybody, you know, as long as you're a citizen, you get the rights of the Constitution. I mean, honestly, a pretty awesome document when you think about it. I always say that too. I always have one say, "Well, you didn't know the slaves." It's like, okay, is it 1858? Because when I read it straight from the book, it doesn't say all white men. It says we the people. So, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. She would be a formidable. I'll put it what. If you think that Tulsi would be a better than most, not the best, not the person you want exactly, not, you know, kinda, you know, or if it's someone you think would be an acceptable vice president pick, put a 1 in the comments. If you think that she would just eventually, you know, go the Pence route and stab him in the back and not really go well for him, put a 2. Okay, let's see where we're at. Excuse me. All right, I'd like to see. All right, so yeah, some 1s. Ooh, conserve friends the 2. Okay. I mean, she was a Democrat, you know. All right, so pretty down the middle, really. 2A concerns here by Mark Skarupa. That is absolutely understandable. People say that about Bobby Kennedy as well. So I get that, and I understand it. And good news is that the vice president doesn't, you know, they can affect legislation or they can affect or influence policy, but I really don't think, with all that's going on, I don't think they're going to be coming after, well, I shouldn't say that. I think they've got more concerns in going after the Second Amendment, but the problem there is, and we all know this because we've seen it as of late, when we're looking one way, they go the Kansas City Shuffle and they start trying to take the legs out from under the Second Amendment. So I get it. I'm giving her a 1.5. Like, who is it? Who do you think would be the worst pick? Who would be the worst pick that's in the running, okay? They have to be someone that is mentioned as a considerable possible pick. Who do you think would be a good possible pick for a vice president? Now, I have said here, I like Kristi Noem. Midwestern, female, Republican, but, you know, conservative, pro 2A, freedom. So, all right, so Tom says Swami. Okay. Chris Martinson. Ooh, I would like to see that ticket. It's a good one. Brandon Herrera. Oh, that's another good one. These are good. Oh, Klaus. I like it. All right. Yeah, Klaus. No, I don't think we want Klaus as VP. All right, I'm telling you, I think Vivek would be a really good Secretary of State. Can you imagine him going and just, like, having debates with people on policy? Like, I think if Vivek Ramaswamy and Antony Blinken were to get into a policy debate, he literally would mop the floor with Antony Blinken. I think Antony Blinken would, like, suddenly start to cry himself. A little puddle would form between his legs. I mean it. So Tim Scott, okay. Rip Curl, I like that one. That's a good one. I liked your short the other day, brother. Little tiny gun. Oh, I've been thinking about you, buddy. Yeah, I got something for you. Here's a tiny gun. Little pee-wee. The JANKSTREAM. All right, let's move on. I think we've covered that one. Trump, of course, won South Carolina. That's how we got on it. Why in God's green earth Nikki Haley has not just said, I'm done? I don't know. They're obviously paying her incredibly well. So let's go on to the cyber attack thing. You know, people have been talking about that. Pharmacies across the U.S. reporting outages. I asked my wife, who's in the medical field. She hasn't really seen anything on her end. I don't know. I mean, do any of you have like wives or people in the medical field, and they've seen stuff? They've watched crazy things happen. They've come home and, oh my God, my terminal is not functioning, or this. You know, I mean, if you've seen that, then put it in there. Anarchy Tattoo Studios, Bronx, New York. Hey, thoughts on Trump Operation Warp Speed? You know, I'm on the fence, man. You know, I think at the time he was trying to do anything. I think he saw a lot going on and he wanted to solve the problem, and so he said, I trust these people, and he should have gotten better opinions. I guess that's the way it is. Now, like an in on it, not in on it, you know, he knew he was making mistakes, or he wasn't, or all that. I mean, I don't know. I really don't. As you know, I'm not Mr. Trump or anything like that. I just, you know, I'm not. I don't know. I think the country's too far gone. So, as it pertains to that, I don't know. I don't know if he trusted bad voices into how we, you know, did the whole Rona shuffle. I don't know. I think, honestly, something like that's got to go to states' rights. That's why I think Kristi Noem would be a great mitigator of that, because she, of course, did not do that. She stayed open for the whole time. That's why Ron DeSantis got onto the map. So, all I can say is hindsight's 20/20, and maybe he got bad advice. Yeah, good question, bud. All right, so let's go to this pharmacy thing. All right. Change Healthcare is where it's going on. It's experiencing a network interruption related to a cybersecurity issue, and our experts are working to address the matter. Once we became aware of the outside threat and the interest of protecting our partners and patients, we took immediate action to disconnect our systems and prevent further impact. So what they do is they handle patient payments and orders for pharmacies around the nation, confirmed in statement on Thursday afternoon. Okay, now my wife works in this field, and she has not seen anything. Now, it could be, you know, she's family, I guess, is the best way to call it. So maybe the drugs are not in her purview, or you know, maybe she just she says it's been kind of light this last couple days. So weather's getting a little nicer. Rona, strep throat, and all that's not tearing through the public. I don't know. She hasn't really seen it. So I'm not saying it doesn't mean it's not there. I'm just saying on her end, she's a great barometer. She hasn't seen it. So the nature of the cybersecurity issue was not disclosed. Other details were not provided. Unclear when the service outage will be resolved. So, other outages, of course, been the AT&T thing, subsidiary Cricket Wireless, all that kind of stuff. I do know this. Okay, so my mother-in-law, we are all on a big family plan for AT&T, and she's got one of those Wi-Fi router things, a little, home one that you can take with you that's got the thing in it like the SIM card, like a phone. Okay, so that's her internet. She's out in the country. That's how she rolls, and it works pretty good. That thing basically went kaput. The whole thing just crapped the bed. Right around the time when the whole thing started to happen. Okay. The other thing that happened was today. Of course, they've got this new download for, I believe, Sonoma for Apple. Okay, she's got an iPhone. We have iPhones. So I'm doing this from right now. Having some kind of awesome setup that's just not me. So, but yeah, her phone, I had to go in there, and as I told her, something happens. What you do is you take whatever the issue is, you go into the Google system or whatever when you're not talking to it about communism, and describe it. So my phone is stopped. It's saying verify update, and it won't move further. Right? It'll just kind of stop. And then usually you'll find some community posts on a Apple, thread or something like that, and they'll say, okay, this happens, and you just got to find the right one. But sure enough, we did this like button pressing exercise, like you're trying to get a secret move from Mortal Kombat, and we did it, and it unfroze the phone, and it got back to normal, and plugged the phone into my computadore and fixed it. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the hacks? Do you think these are hacks, or do you think they were? It's pretty much now agreed that they came out and said, "Oh, it was a solar flare." Okay. Now it's pretty much known it wasn't a solar flare. And so when they came in, they started saying that. People were like, "Well, wait a second. Why is it only AT&T?" So clearly not a solar flare. Wife and I read that it was some kind of a process, or they had just started some new process or system or something on their system with a process. Okay, started a new one, and whoever wrote the code or did it wrong, or it screwed up, or they didn't do it right. That's what basically the guy at the AT&T store said to us, because we had to take the little router thing over and do a bunch of stuff, like a new SIM card and blah blah blah, and we were chewing his ear about the whole thing. And basically what he said was that someone's getting fired. So now, I don't know. I mean, I think with the telephone and all that, I mean, kind of interesting timing, and coincidences do happen, but with all the war rhetoric and all that going on, and people saying we're going to hack the crap out of you, a very interesting time. Interesting. So, hopefully, I mean, did any of you, if you got affected by the whole hack, put a 1 in the comment stream. I'd like to see that. If you were affected by the process going down, sorry, I don't want to give it the misnomer. They pay people a good amount of money to come out and tell us what's real. Yeah. If it did, give me a 1. If it didn't, give me a 0. There you go. If it affected something or someone hit a 2. Yep, I agree with that. Why should I believe them? Bush. Yeah, I get you, brother. I don't understand why. Exactly. You've BS'd me for so long. Why should I believe anything you say, right? So I get it. Well, all right. It says here in one of the on the comments, is my prescription was ready from the day before, but the pharmacy cannot check a good RX price and told me to call later in the day, see if the computers are up. So, yeah. All that's the thing. You know what this really highlights, folks? Highlights how friggin' vulnerable we are, I mean, we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable. So, um, I mean, I'm kind of surprised we haven't had a major hack yet. I mean, someone said that too, and all this went down. They said solar winds. Now, I don't know if you guys remember solar winds. It's from a couple years ago. It's a major hack, and supposedly a bunch of, you know, countries of ill repute got into our system and, you know, took a lot of it. You know, they got all the passwords and all the info and yada, yada, yada. And now here we are, you know, dealing with the aftermath years later. And this whole thing is, I'm not talking about anything. They're, Mr. Google. What do you guys think about this CBS thing where they confronted Catherine Herridge and got all of her like major stuff, all of her confidential files? Now, if you know Catherine Herridge, she was on Fox for a long time. I liked her. I thought she was pretty good. She looked like she was a marathon runner that liked to report from time to time. She looked like she had abs of steel. She just looks like she every morning she wakes up and runs 50 miles and then like reports on craziness in the world, right? So they seized her confidential files. Now, if you're a journalist, you know this, and I do know this. I do teach media. It's supposed to be that you know, you can keep everything confidential. That way, people will want to come out and talk to you, right? If you can't keep your anonymity, what's the point? Like, people are gonna, because they know the retribution is real. I'm sure if I know, if, let's just say there was like a huge big tech company and some guy came out with some nasty news on them, you better believe that all the sites that that big tech company could, you know, swab and swipe away, they would do it. Of course they would, right? So she got released because basically nobody believes in legacy news anymore, and now all of them are getting rid of staff, and it's everybody. It's like Wall Street Journal, L.A. Times, CBS. God, Vice is gone. Vice was yesterday. Sports Illustrated. I mean, you want to talk about like the epitome of go woke, go broke. That is our journalism right now. So, she said, one insider said, it's so extraordinary. Files most likely contain confidential materials from Heritage's time at both Fox and CBS. That's bad. According to the source who called the move unprecedented, the network boxed up all of her stuff and told her they would decide what, if anything, would be returned to her. They never seize documents when you let go, the second source said. They want to see what damaging documents she has. Network spokesman pushed back and said, we have respected the request to not go through the files, and out of our concern for confidential sources, the office she occupied has remained secure since her departure. We are prepared to pack up rest of her files immediately on her behalf, with her representative present as she requested. So, sources fear the network's actions are going to have an impact on Heritage's First Amendment case because her documents may contain privileged conversations she had with lawyers or identities and such. And of course, that's her job. Her job is to go around. I mean, who's the most famous, or who's the president that was famously terrible to whistleblowers? That's right, it was Obama. Obama was terrible to whistleblowers. You know, it's just, we are in a corrupt environment right now, you know, and I mean, with all that's going on, I mean, if you can't see, it's like the government's like, oh, you guys have no rights, and your privacy's out the window, and blah blah blah. Fourth Amendment be damned. And it's like, well, wait a second. You guys literally are the epitome of graft and, I mean, everything, all of it. People will say, I've had kids go and say, well, America used to be racist. It's like, well, yeah, well, what were they? They were called Jim Crow laws. There were laws passed by the, you got it, government. Yeah. You ask most people, they just want to be. They don't care about all this crap. They just, let me do my thing and leave me alone. And, it's always that government boot that really goes in there. And that's exactly what this is. Good Lord, Borg, let me talk about mainstream media. It's a joke. We all know it. It's why you guys are getting rid of all of your jobs. It's not because you guys are doing well. It's not because people trust you. Mainstream media. Because you guys have done awful. I mean, look at all the stuff with Rona. I mean, I could literally spend hours going back through all of the crap and things that were said that were supposedly necessary, quote unquote. It's BS. It's not true. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but there are things that there's times when you go in with like a study and you figure out that I don't know, certain things we're doing, certain mitigation techniques don't work. Some do, some don't. I can tell you that most kids' educations and everything else about them have been wrecked from the aftermath of that whole thing. I can tell you most kids' attention spans now, from always having a screen in front of their face, are basically destroyed. They did a thing. Clown Planet is the channel I found this. I was in show students. I'm trying to get them to read books. I'm trying to get them to just center and be present and read and turn their minds off and not always be addicted to a screen, right? So in 2003, a study came out. Average human being had a attention span that could keep for about 2 minutes and 50 seconds, okay? Now, I know people go, oh, that's not true, but it's what the study said. In 2003, 20 years ago, people could keep their attention span on stuff for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. 2012, it was down to 75 seconds. 2023, last time they did it, 47 seconds. So, and thinking that putting kids online for learning is the way is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So, trying to get these kids to read books and stuff. Is it sad? Is it sad? And I know that I'm just spitwadding here, but is it sad that there lives a tiny inkling in me that's almost like, an EMP wouldn't be so bad. For at least a little bit of a reset on our children. Now, I don't want an EMP. I don't. Now, if there was a way to take all, everybody's really, even mine. March 1st, we're doing it with our kids. Anyway, yeah. Do you guys do that? Do you have little grandchildren or children and you kick their butts outside and say, go play in the dirt or whatever? My kids were. We had a good time today. We went to the indoor pool. So anyway, all right, back to where we were. Let's see. Can't mention communism. Wait, communism. You know what? Let's go sarcasm. Let's see how good this artificial intelligence is. I gotta tell you that in 1949, when Mao came into power, he had the right ideas. He said, you know what? Let's have everybody stop farming, because that's smart. And let's have them all smelt iron. Try to make homemade steel. Build a furnace in the back of your yard, he said. And they did it. They listened. Had their little red books. Good old Mao. Yep. And craziest thing happened in 61 and 62, I think it was. 20 to 40 million were no longer with us. Actually, they say 50 million at this point. I don't know. It's China. You know, they used to soak bark in urine and soak chlorella, which is like a root, and soak that overnight and soften it up and eat it. This is the only thing they had. There's literally stories. You look at Radio Free Asia, there's stories of people over there having to resort to cannibalism. So, a very terrible time, very terrible time. But thou shalt not speak ill of our beloved Karl Marx. Oh, Karl. He was a wonderful father, too. You guys know that Karl Marx had, I think, 6 children? A couple of them, you know, they had to go away a little bit quicker than the others because of malnutrition. That's right. Old Karl was so busy writing his beautiful doctrine on conflict theory that a couple of his kids basically didn't make it because of malnutrition. They weren't fed properly. Because good old Karl had to sit there and write. Yeah. Great job, Karl. Father of the Year. Look it up. It's out there. It's hidden, but it's out there. I love that. I love that. Someone said that tonight. I said, man, your channel's kind of hidden. It's like, uh-huh. Yeah. Talk about the real here, you know? Yeah, communism sounds great, but it's not. Anyway. Well, folks, where do we want to go from here? We got a little more time left. I'm going to just keep spit-wadding. Good to have you all here at the JANKSTREAM. You guys know what janky means? Janky's like you rigged it together with spit, duct tape, and a fart. That's like I can only explain in the background, but the JANKSTREAM is kind of becoming a favorite thing. It's very nice to do. I love being able to talk to you guys, but yeah, there's a reason why I do it this way. I've got all the computer and all the setup and everything else, but nah. JANKSTREAM wins. Yeah, janky means like, crappy, so I was telling my wife about the JANKSTREAM was where we are. So alright, I don't know if the old Trumpster is gonna pick Tulsi or not. I hope he picks Noam. I'm sure people will tell me all about how terrible she is and all that, which just tells me that we're basically at the end. But yeah, did you hear about Switzerland? Switzerland basically said they're going to block certain websites if something major happens. Okay? Now, what is that? Well, let's say that the grid's having problems or some kind of an attack. I'll leave it nebulous. You figure it out for what it is. They said that they're going to hinder and restrict certain websites in Sweden, and if Sweden's thinking about it, the rest of the world is. And I don't know. I personally think that wouldn't be smart. I share a lot of information on that kind of stuff, but I'll tell you what, man, after the other day, I'm looking into a radio system of some sort. Not that I want to broadcast, but I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like that feeling of, or I don't like the feeling of like helplessness. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know information. If you can tell, I'm kind of an information junkie. So There's one that I don't know if you guys follow this guy. I like him. His name's Iridium242. He just does like prepper reviews on like gear and stuff. But he's got good stuff, and he's a good dude. So I follow his channel. He had this radio called the Ratty. He just put it up a few days ago, and yeah, I think it's like $30, and it does everything. Put a USB in and play songs from your own music, or you can use it and get shortwave and ham and or not ham. I forget. Uh, it does a bunch of stuff, and it's real simple and easy to use. So I don't know. My biggest fear with everything is losing communication, and I think that's why if something major were to go down, I think the communication system will be the first thing. I do. I think when the communication system is jacked with, that's when I take notice. That's why I think the AT&T thing was kind of key. Was a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, it probably was just some idiot putting a process in wrong, but maybe not. I don't know. I know that who Trump picks doesn't matter. All the stuff that at this point, folks, if you're not like preparing yourself to do it on your own or to try to at least do it with a group, I don't know. I think you're. I think you're a little too trusting. I think you're trusting in the system. I don't trust the system. I don't think there's anybody in there that's got any good ideas for me. I don't think any of them care to watch me or my family thrive. I think they just see us as tax donkeys, and they're just waiting for the inevitable crapping of the bed of whether it's the grid, the power, the whatever, the money system. At that point, it'll be a couple few years of darkness, and then what we look like on the other side, God only knows, and may God protect us and forgive us. Sad to think about, too. You know? Such a great country. We were always such a great country. No matter where you went, American people are pretty much, by and large, the same, Big and happy, usually. And now it's all changing. I mean, what do you think we're going to look like in 5 years with all that's coming over in the South? Think about it. What we're going to look like? I don't know. It's going to be kind of freaky. I don't care about the color thing or anything like that. I think, honestly, the people coming over, a lot of the Latin American ones, man, they are very conservative. They're in the family. They're against abortion and other stuff like that. I mean, they are a whole bunch of people that are ripe for the picking for a more traditional conservative view. But coming over and getting that brand new, voter package, that's kind of tough to put down. I don't know. I mean, we got the election coming up. It's just going to crescendo to crazier and crazier and crazier. And we're just, we're just at a point in our history, folks. That's why they say, republics only go 250 years. Just at a point in our history where we need a lot of changes to go on, and they're systemic, and the people that are in those positions to change, they like themselves there. They're comfy. And they don't want to do anything to, make things right. I was thinking about that earlier. It's like we need statesmen again. We need people that care enough about the system or about the society and people's well-being We just don't have that anymore. And if we do, it's not really, it's a little too sparse. It's tough to find. And until we do, it really doesn't matter, you know. We need to get good people in there. I hope Trump's that. I do. I don't know. We need to get good people in there, though. You know, Bobby Kennedy strikes me as a good dude. But I don't know. Tulsi Gabbard strikes me as a good person. I don't know. I don't know any of them. I don't know if any of them are going to be good. All I know is that almost $35 trillion and 13 million people in a couple years, that's tough to stop, you know. Big tech and all their chicanery and everything. Buffering, 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 buffering. Find something, you think it's BS, you call it out, and they're like, nope, sorry, flagged for removal. A little too close to the truth on that one, sir. We have to get rid of your truthiness. It's a problem. It's a problem. We need people to sacrifice, you know, and put some things on the line. Because from here, well, it ain't going to be easy, folks. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up right there. That was a good solid almost 50 minutes. I appreciate y'all. All I can say is, you know, just keep doing what you're doing. Be good to people. Most people out there are good human beings. Try to perpetuate that however you can. Add value. Help someone if they're in need, you know, and they're not trying to do anything janky to you. I don't know. Be Christ-like. I guess that's the best way to be. That's what I mean. Be Christ-like, folks. That's what I'm going to try and do. Be a good human being, because that's the only thing I can see. I got no control over Donald Trump. I got no control over Joe Biden. I got no control over Vladimir Putin. I got no control over Kim Jong-un. Xi Jinping, no control. So I'm just going to let it go. Folks, I hope you have a good night. And I appreciate you. Check out the links in the description for all the other blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about. But I appreciate you. So, God bless, friends. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep your head in the swivel and your powder dry. And I appreciate you coming by the JANKSTREAM. 22424. Have a good night. We're out.